Hello again. I'm here today for another of my requested videos. Now, I haven't been posting so much lately, and it's just because I've been doing so many other things. So I've gone from posting weekly or a couple of times a week to sometimes 2 weekly, but that is going to improve again after I've finished my trilogy of books. Here's book one. So my first of 3 books has now been published and it's ready for sale on Amazon. I'm going to put a link to that in my description box at the end of this video, as I will do on all of my future videos now. Now, this is the first book of 3, which, so this one focuses mostly on your life purpose, well, totally on the detail of your life purpose. So that's the life path and birthday number. The book that I'm editing right now is your life path and your talent numbers, like your expression number, your maturity number, intensifiers. And then the last of the trilogy is going to be about your soul urge and your life path number. So how your motivation helps or hinders your life path number. But for now, this is book 1 of my trilogy. So if you'd like to grab one of these, I'm going to put a link to Amazon in the description box. But if you're not in the UK, there are other Amazons in other areas that should be able to do this for you. But if you have any problems trying to get this book, let me know and I can get one shipped to you personally from me. So anyway, I'm going to stop gabbling now about my book that I'm very excited about and get on to the video in hand. Now, this was requested by someone who is a life path 9, but they have a soul urge in the number or the energy of the 6. Now, as I say with all my videos, it's that life path number that is the big kahuna of your chart. It's the most important number in your chart, and everything you do, everything else in your toolbox is there to help with the achievement of your life path. So what you need to do as a soul urge 6 is to use the elements or the energy of your motivation and passion in the 6 energy to help you achieve your life path 9. Now, looking at these numbers straight away, I see a very, very idealistic person. The life path 9 already has some struggles with their ideals and sometimes trusting worldly ideals over their intuitive wisdom. And then, of course, when you've got a soul urge 6, you're motivated and driven by those worldly ideals, which can actually serve at times to hinder your spiritual development in your life path 9. But there are many other ways that your motivation in the 6 can be really supportive of your life path 9, especially when it comes to looking after the well-being of those around you. So when you are a life path 9, your areas of development to achieve in this lifetime is that you must develop the ability to listen and trust in your intuitive spiritual wisdom and use that intuition to filter your worldly ideals for their truth and their authenticity and their feasibility in this world. Because as a 9, you're here to be more spiritual than idealistic, because ideals are about the world and you're here to trust in faith rather than worldly logic and ideals. So you're here to be spiritual and trusting of faith over worldly logic and ideals. You must be ethical and responsible, acting with integrity to improve the well-being of others. That's what the 9 is all about. The 9 is a very philanthropic and humanitarian energy that spreads their help and assistance very, very widely, which can sometimes be a bit of a disappointment for a soul urge number 6 who likes to nurture those close. You actually prefer to nurture your community and family than you do those farther afield, but your life path 9 is asking you to widen your caring and your nurturing to wider afield, to people in different countries, to be that proper world consciousness of a humanitarian. acting with integrity to improve the well-being of others all over the world if you can. You need to learn to communicate, lead, and influence others by practicing preached wisdom as a teacher, a speaker, a counselor, an advisor, and to lead others just by the way you live, leading by example. You could be an entrepreneur that markets their wisdom and their spiritual talents or their well-being talents to the world. But when you're a soul urge number 6, your drive and your motivation that you have to support your life path are that you are motivated by your visions of the ideal. You're driven by your worldly ideals, your dreams of a utopian world. You want to create a better world with your inclusive and utopian ideals. You prefer to act out and manifest your ideals daily by nurturing those less fortunate. This is what drives and motivates you. You prefer to look after those that are unfortunate and vulnerable in your own community or family. You like to be warm and compassionate, and you love to create stability and peace and safety and security and comfort for everybody else. It's like you want to be like a mama or a papa bear. You like to be warm and compassionate and talkative, make friends and build close relationships. You just love to be around other people. How's this going to help or hinder though? So as a life path number 9, as I always do, I'm going to break down the life path 9 into its 10 elements and show you how each element is supported or hindered by the motivation and drive in the 6th energy. So you're here to learn to follow your intuitive wisdom and live to spiritual laws rather than worldly laws and conventions and ideals and ideals that might not be congruent with spirituality. But as a 9, you tend and often follow those worldly laws and even the prejudices. And sometimes that prejudice or that judgment because of your ideals can be an excuse for your actions. And if you'd thought about it and followed your intuitive spiritual wisdom, the soul within you, you may not have acted in that way. So in this lifetime, you're here to understand your ideals, but actually give higher priority to spiritual faith over worldly ideals and logic. Your 6 motivation energy is not going to help so much here because the 6 energy wants to be a practical nurturer in the world in line with their worldly ideals. And that's a great thing to want to do, but it's not necessarily all that supportive of the life path 9, who really needs that more spiritual edge. So your ideals and dreams of manifesting your ideals actually drives you the most. You're motivated to help those in the world that are less fortunate and make the world a better place by manifesting your ideals through practical action. Now, that is a great thing to be motivated to do, but it's not necessarily going to support your life path 9 by being so worldly and so focused on worldly things, because your drive for worldly ideals may and often does come before and overshadow your spirituality and your intuition. So to support your life path 9, delve into that spirituality and develop your interest in wisdom and spiritual law. Look within, listen to, have faith in, and act on your intuition, your gut feelings, and that spiritual wisdom that you research and understand. And use that, the intuition and your gut and your perceptions, use that to filter your worldly ideals for their authenticity and their feasibility in this world. Because spiritual faith and wisdom must come before worldly ideals. Now, that's going to be difficult for you to do as a motivated idealist, because you've always been motivated by manifesting your ideas in the world. But I'm not asking you to stop doing that. I'm asking you to expand your horizons so that you have more of a spiritual edge and you have that intuition and develop spirituality so that you can always assess your ideals by filtering it through your intuitive wisdom and the voice within you. It's very, very important. You're also here to learn to act with integrity for the benefit of other people. You're powerful and you must use that power for the benefit of others, because as a 9, you can and have a tendency to act with selfish and nefarious reasons. You can come across to others like you're there for their well-being, but actually underneath it all, you're actually there for your own well-being. And the 9 is here to be there for others, not just for themselves, to be ethical and responsible for how they treat and how they are around others. Your motivation energy in the 6 is going to help you a lot with this element, because the 6 is incredibly responsible. They're compassionate and they look after the needs of the vulnerable and those less fortunate. They're certainly not going to be nefarious, because their ideals are not going to allow that to happen unless their ideals have become, unhealthy, which is unlikely in this situation, but definitely possible. You want to be a nurturer when you're a soul urge number 6. You want to use your warmth and your concern for the well-being of others, and you can use that concern and that warmth to help you support your integrity when you're looking after other people. Your concern for the well-being of others, and you can use that to maintain the selfless integrity needed to support your life path 9. So the 6 is going to be really useful when it comes to the way you treat other people and your intentions, your nurturing intentions towards others. You're also here to learn to be a leader, but not a leader that just shouts orders, more a leader by example. And you've got to ask yourself as a life path 9, do I practice what I preach? Am I ethical? Do I lead by positive example? Because as a 9, you don't suffer fools gladly, and you can be quite a domineering advisor with all the answers. And when you've got all the answers, you end up fixing people's lives for them, and that's not good. You've got to let other people make their own mistakes, because we've all got a life path to achieve. And if you do too much, you're kind of, as a 9, even though you're trying to help, you're literally stamping on the path of others that are here to learn their own lessons. And unfortunately, the 6 isn't going to help you here, because the life path 9 can be known as a fixer, and the soul urge number 6 can make you a motivated meddler, which can exacerbate the fact that you can sometimes do too much and overstep other people's boundaries and, of course, your own boundaries. So your 6 motivation energy, of course, it makes you idealistic. It makes you want to be responsible and to do the right thing in line with your ideals. You want to help people. You want to advise and counsel and lead by example. But your drive to help, as I've just said, means that you can sometimes do way too much and meddle in other people's lives and cushion others, fix their lives and cushion them too much from learning by their own mistakes and actions in this world, which isn't going to help them in any way in the long term to learn the lessons that they need to learn. So support that life path 9 by continuing to advise and support and lead positively, because that's what you're here to do, but knowing when to stop and let people run their own lives, and when to stop so that you can look after yourself and your own need for rest and spiritual development and time with your family. So it's important that those boundaries are in place. You're here to make your life your teaching. You need to counsel with wisdom, with spiritual wisdom and intuitive knowledge, because you are a developed soul as a 9. The totality, you have the potential to express the totality of all the abilities of all the numbers. And you're full of cellular experience, higher knowledge and intuition to help you as well. So you're very multifaceted and experienced when it comes to your multiple lives. Your 6 motivation energy means that you are driven to be a supportive, sensible advisor. You like and love to apply your ideas or your ideals in your daily action, in your daily practical action. For example, if you feel that the whole world should have food and water, you're going to be the one at the food banks making sure they're stocked up, or out over in Africa making sure all the water wells are built so that people have clean water. It's practical action that supports your ideals, that really motivates and drives you as a soul urge 6. But to support your life path 9, start by living by your intuitive ideals. the ideals that have been fed and reconciled through your intuitive wisdom, and then manifesting that spiritual wisdom, the wisdom that resonates, the ideals that resonate in the real world. Okay. You're also here to develop broad-mindedness and to be accepting of other people in the world, because you're here to be a humanitarian. You're here to meet and accept and understand and be non-judgmental of diverse people all over the world. You must learn to be a humanitarian, very philanthropic, and make the world a better place with your acceptance. You need that global consciousness, because as a 9, you have a tendency to be a bit narrow-minded, judgmental of other races and cultures, and even at your worst, bigoted. But your motivation in the 6 energy cares deeply about those who are less fortunate and vulnerable, no matter where they are. You prefer to focus more on those close to you, of course, because you're a soul urge 6. But you still feel compassion for those that are distant and in peril. Ideals that aren't filtered, because both of these numbers are extremely idealistic and are at risk of being quite judgmental and almost cruel with your ideals. And any ideals that are not filtered through your intuitive wisdom have the potential to cause you to actually be quite judgmental and almost cruel to those that don't embody your ideals, or those that you feel that have hurt you in some way. So support your life path 9 by learning to accept and embrace diverse people and opinions, thus widening your humanitarian efforts further afield than your own community, and helping you be a more accepting and non-judgmental of those from diverse backgrounds. You're here to learn to take responsibility also for your powerful choices. The 9 is a very, very powerful energy. So you're here to learn to take responsibility for that. With great power comes great responsibility, the age-old quote. But sometimes you can fail to take responsibility or be responsible in the first place, and then take responsibility for the consequences of the actions that you have caused, which can sometimes be a problem when it comes to your integrity in this world. And that's what the number 9, one of the many things that the 9 is working with. Your 6 motivation, drive and passion means that you prefer to be responsible, which will balance your 9 tendency to be a little bit on the irresponsible and reckless side. However, your 6 urges in your soul and your potential in the 9 as well means that you're highly emotional, capable of negative, spontaneous and rash emotional action in the moment if you're not careful. So taking care with that knowledge, support your life path 9 by keeping your keen sense of responsibility top of your list, and exercise not only self-discovery and spiritual development, but emotional awareness to help you manage your emotional responses and triggers, so that you can express your emotions much more responsibly in this lifetime. You need to develop towards being the successful entrepreneur, because a 9 is an entrepreneur and a business person that needs to be and to work with something that they're passionate about. So they must choose work that has meaning for them as an entrepreneur, because the 9 is a powerful force for change. And of course, because this is an element of your life path, this isn't going to be easy for you to achieve. But your motivation and drive in the 6 energy means that you're driven to focus on people really, over objective business or anything other than the relationships in your life. Often money making is secondary. Money making is just the tool that you use to support the people in your life. So you're not necessarily a motivated entrepreneur. You're more a motivated carer in the community and carer of your family and the mama or papa bear than you are wanting to be, a business person and making success of your life when it comes to making money. You love to make environments comfortable and peaceful and look after those that you love and those in your community. So to support that life path 9, you've got to be learning some more business skills, you know. Your motivation in the 6 is always going to be there, but to achieve your 9, you've got to be that entrepreneur. Focus on your business ability, use training and experience to help you learn those business skills, to give you the ability to maybe even act on your intuitively feasible ideals that you're passionate about, because it's likely your passions as a soul urge 6 are going to be very idealistic, and they're going to be very centered on either making the world a better place or nurturing people, or, you know, the soul urge number 6 loves music and art and beauty as well, and they often nurture others with their artistry and their musicality, as well as their ability to make environments calm and comfortable. But as you can imagine, their ability to make environments calm and comfortable, they can also make them look beautiful and sound beautiful too. So the 6 motivation energy wants to nurture rather than make money, really. So they're going to have to step out of their motivation zone in quite a big way to learn and get those business skills and experience that they need to achieve the entrepreneurial element of their life path 9. But to make it more meaningful for a soul urge 6, it's going to be, their business is going to be to do with bringing their visions of their intuitively feasible ideas to this world, their ideals to this world. Because, you know, the soul urge 6 is always going to be passionate about their ideals and making things better for those around them. You're here to develop excellent social skills as a 9 and charisma, because as a 9, you've got to be a powerful speaker and an influencer and a communicator. You know, the 9 is all about spiritual teaching, and you need to get to a point where people listen and hang on your every word, and you're influencing people towards their own well-being, not for nefarious reasons, using your communication skills, your charisma, and your excellent social skills. Your 6 motivation energy drives you and gives you excellent, warm and friendly social skills. You just love to be around other people, your family, your team, your friends. But when you meet or see people you don't know, you can be a bit shy at first. You prefer familiar groups, people that you already feel safe around. So you're quite shy when you meet new people. Public speaking that you need for the 9 in order to teach and advise wider audiences about your wisdom and spirituality, that's not going to be a comfortable thing for you. And the 6 soul urge is going to find this element really hard. They may even refuse to actually be the person that is the center of attention and refuse to be the one that communicates to audiences, which is what they're here to be. So this is going to be a difficult element, and definitely something that they need to build their confidence for, and definitely stepping out their motivation zone for, to learn and develop confidence to speak to and influence larger groups and audiences, especially more diverse ranges of people with their passions, their ideals, and using their confident, intuitive charisma. So an undermotivated 6 who really does not want to be on the stage or talking to large groups, this isn't going to be an easy thing for you, but it is a strong part of your life purpose to achieve. Remember, this is never going to be easy. Some elements of your life path are going to be easier than others, depending on your other numbers. And of course, your expression number, and to a lesser extent, your other talent numbers are also relevant here. But of course, that's outside the scope of this video. So, as I've said, the 9 is here fundamentally to look after the well-being of others. But the problem with that is the 9 feels that they're here to look after everyone else, so that when they're in trouble or they need support, people don't tend to notice, because the 9 doesn't ask for what they need. They don't ask for help. So they give, and never take that support back, which can cause a lot of problems for a 9 when they're not supported by others around them. You know, it's all well and good to see yourself as the healer and the advisor, but the healer needs to be healed and the advisor needs to be advised too. So your 6 motivation energy makes you driven to help and support other people. We already know that. You often do way too much and turn into that meddler or that fixer, and you may feel that you are here to help others, not the other way round. But to support your life path 9, you must allow other people to help and support you too. Asking for help when you need it doesn't mean that you're weak. In fact, seeking help means that you are strong. And the stronger you are, the more able that you are to continue healing other people the way you do. But, you know, the healer needs to be healed sometimes. And it's certainly not weak in order to ask other people to help and support you too. And that is vital for a 9 to do that. You're here to learn to let go. You're a 9, so you tend to hold on to things a little bit, and you know you're here to learn to be able to cope with endings and completion, and be able to wrap things up, let go, and surrender and move on. But the problem is, you can hold on to things as a life path 9. You can have a bit of a victim mentality and hold on to feelings that no longer serve you. And then when you're unable to move on from that perceived injustice, it holds you back and often makes you angry and quite nefarious and revengeful sometimes at times. And this victim mentality often goes back to your early life, your schooling or your family. You feel that you've been hurt in some way, and that victim mentality that you're holding on to is really holding you back as a 9, and at worst making you act angrily or nefariously against those that you feel that have hurt you in some way. But your 6 drive and motivation and energy means that you strive to reconcile these ideals with reality so that you can let go of judgments and become more accepting. But bad experience, if a 9 goes through bad experience, this could mar and motivate ideals against that bad person or that bad behavior that could be beyond what is healthy, which can turn you in towards sort of almost idealistic fanaticism. Not like necessarily a terrorist, although that is part of the same idealistic fanaticism, but it can actually cause unhealthy obsessions, and you could manifest, you know, difficult behavior in the real world if you're judging other people by your ideals. So support your life path 9 by realizing that all of your experiences, both good and bad, you know, the perceived injustices, all the negative things that you feel that have been thrown at you or have happened to you, they are merely experiences and lessons that you're meant to teach you. There are lessons embedded in all experience that you go through, and it's not there to hold you back. It is there to help you to learn and get stronger, to develop your soul towards that eventual perfection that we're all striving for from lifetime to lifetime in this world. So I hope you find my video on the Soul Urge 6 supporting the Life Path 9 really useful. Don't forget, I'm going to put links to my new book. Book 2 is coming out soon. I'm working really hard to get it out within the next few weeks. So there's going to be links to my new book, links to all my Udemy courses that I teach other people to read numerology. If you'd like a reading, please email me or contact me on social media, or you might just want to ask me a question or request a video. You can do so by messaging me or leaving comments on my videos. I don't mind how you do it. But as ever, I want you to trust the soul within you. I want you to drink in all your spiritual intuition. Listen to your gut feelings. Listen to the voice within you, because it is that voice that should be the basis of all your decisions in this lifetime, no matter what anyone else says to you. See you soon.